Today, we're putting two steel connection methods head to head to challenge some very familiar assumptions on the construction site. We're talking traditional site welding versus girder clamps, connecting steel to steel. It's something that happens thousands of times on a single project, and yet the method we choose can drastically alter the timeline, the budget, and the safety profile of the entire job.
It's a completely natural human instinct to lean into the familiar, especially in a high-stakes environment like a live construction site. But automatically relying on traditional methods just because they're what we know can actually introduce some really serious hidden costs and massive time sinks. We're talking about expensive specialist labor, endless layers of administrative red tape, and processes that are inherently dangerous, especially at height. It proves that sometimes the typical connection method is actually the most expensive and risky choice.
So to truly test this assumption, a live field experiment was set up as a totally fair fight. The parameters were strictly controlled. We've got identical components on both sides, the exact same existing column, the exact same new beam, and those exact same difficult conditions at height where literally every second counts. The only variable changing here is the connection method itself. We're racing traditional welding directly against the clamping method. They both start in the exact same place, but from here on out, the paths they take couldn't be more different.
With welding, the friction and complexity actually start way before a spark ever flies. You have to navigate this grueling maze of works permits and organize a dedicated fire watch. Just look at this sequence. The prep work alone is incredibly intensive.
Before traditional welding begins, you must strip the protective coating at the weld location, and then take the time to accurately mark your setting out points.
Only then can you tack weld, do the full continuous weld, and finally sit through agonizing cool-down times. It's a massive, expensive sequence of events for just one single connection. And think about what's actually happening up there. They're actively managing an incredibly hazardous environment. They're dealing with a live electrical arc, inhaling potentially toxic fumes, and working right next to compressed gas cylinders that carry their own explosion risks.
Due to carrying out hot works and the risk of sparks and fire, a fire watcher or multiple is generally required during and for a period after the hot works has completed, especially if we're talking about welding habitats.
The extreme heat, the sparks, the spatter, it all adds up to a heavily burdened, super high-risk operation that drains your budget. Now, let's look closer at the weld itself. Committing to a full 6mm continuous fillet weld is definitely not a quick fix, and it demands intense precision. Any slag inclusion or errant spatter introduces variables that can actually compromise the joint strength if it isn't executed absolutely perfectly. Basically, the human element introduces a margin of error that demands constant vigilance. If site welding is a story of compounding complexity, clamping is a story of radical simplification. The contrast here is like a breath of fresh air. By utilizing a clamping method, you instantly strip away the hot works permits. There's no need to organize a fire watch, there's no live arc, no hazardous compressed gas, no toxic fumes filling the air. And beautifully, there is absolutely zero wait time for the steel to cool down. You're just removing layers upon layers of administrative and physical barriers. Without all those hurdles, the pace just takes off. The whole process collapses down to just a few highly efficient steps. You literally just lift the new beam directly into position and you lock it in using basic hand tools. That's it. There's no stripping of protective coatings beforehand and no specialist heavy machinery required. The connection is instantly ready the second it's secured. It provides this incredibly quick, time and cost-effective solution that immediately removes the vulnerability of working at height. Okay, so the welding stops. But guess what? Because that steel joint is blazing hot, it literally has to cool down to 50 or 60 degrees Celsius.
It takes significant time for the steel to be touched up. On heavier or more complex connections, this waiting time before touching up protective finishes can take even longer.
And during this entire waiting period, the connection is completely exposed, unprotected, and remember, tied up labor means tied up money. This delay is a direct, measurable drain on your project's budget. We all know real-world construction projects don't have just one connection. They have hundreds, sometimes even thousands of them scattered across multiple levels. So ask yourself, what happens when you multiply these granular savings? This is exactly where those small wins on a single joint snowball into something mathematically impossible to ignore.
This is where your project savings truly compound. Every single Hotworks permit you avoid filing saves administrative time. Every firewatch you don't have to coordinate saves hard labor costs. Every minute your team isn't exposed to a live arc at height drastically reduces your health and safety liabilities. And every single minute you aren't standing around waiting for a weld to cool down keeps your timeline moving forward without artificial bottlenecks.
As the results show, it's honestly not even close. But the beauty here is that this isn't just about raw speed. Achieving this massive time saving while simultaneously stripping out the need for specialist equipment, toxic fume exposure, and extreme fire risks is what a real tangible efficiency gain looks like. It is a total win-win for site managers, safety officers, and the clients paying for the timeline. It absolutely proves that clamping is a vastly more time and cost-effective solution than traditional site welding.
Look, we know welding works, that was never the question. But after seeing the stark contrast in time, administrative burden, and physical danger, you have to ask yourself, is what's familiar actually holding you back? It's a vital question to chew on before you plan your next project.